We can also talk about it with the land trust. You erase your name off that title, you deed it to the trustee. You want to pick someone that you absolutely can trust. It can also, again, it could be a law firm or an attorney, I should say. And then you will have the beneficiaries, which will more likely be yourself or whom you choose. But then once that's deeded, because when you record that deed, the only thing that the public will see is the deed, the conveyance of that property to the trustee. That's it. They won't see everything else. But everything else you should have. Again, it's a contract. You can have everything. You want to have the reassignment of rights. You may want to have the trustee that you deed to, but then you want to take the trustee off of the land trust and replace it with whomever. But you can do that in private. That won't be seen publicly. And lastly, as a beneficiary, you can assign your interest to an LLC. So that will help you as far as with like asset protections, because a land trust generally by default does not protect assets, but you can achieve anonymity through a land trust, and you also can achieve protection if it's set up and done correctly. And then lastly, I want to talk about living trust. I just have to bring that up since we've been talking about assets and you setting up your LLC properly. You're doing all these things to put you in a great position. Please don't forget to create a living trust. A living trust, we do talk about wills, but wills is a document that is probated. A living trust is not. So you can set up a living trust, and you can also assign membership interests to the living trust, membership interest of the LLC to the living trust, so that it is also an owner. So I just wanted to throw that in there. So what I want to finish with really quickly is two cases that I came across, and these two cases kind of hit home on some of the stuff that I was speaking about. The first one I want to talk about, because we talked about piercing the corporate veil, and how if your company is on the hook for something, there's that limited protection. The purpose of limited liability is limited to that entity, and it doesn't touch you. But we talked about how that veil can be pierced. There is a case that I read. It's called Spear versus Krieger, and this is a case where there was an automobile company who was in the business, or it was in the business of renting out automobiles, and one of the individuals that rented the automobile was, well, actually, yeah, one of the individuals who rented the automobile hit someone else. So you had a driver who was hit by a car that was rented from this particular company. As they did their due diligence in a lawsuit, they found out that this company did not have liability insurance, but this company had shared, it's all on their website, that they hold liability insurance for the individuals that rent